Hello everyone. In this second post for this week, I'd like to comment on Dr. Simkevich's analysis of Psalm 39. First of all, just generally, what a song of abandonment, of lament, of despair, of no hope. And it's not something we see in our Christian liturgy very often, but this is the reality for the psalmist. And what really touched me most was how the psalmist's demands decrease from God. For example, in verse 4, the psalmist wants to have God speak in response. To verse 12, when the psalmist just wants God to hear the demands, the outcry, the despair, the lament. But yet, all throughout, God doesn't. The psalmist is abandoned. The psalmist is in total despair, and there is no hope. I especially also want to note that I am taken back a little bit by the reference to the psalmist being stroked or beaten by God, and that's in verse 10. Remove your stroke from me. I am worn down by the blows of your hand. Now, I know that could be figurative, but any kind of God that strikes or really physically hurts people, it's just hard for me to bear, but I hope it's only an illusion, an image, and I think that's truly what it is. It's not an actual feeling the psalmist feels, but an image. I'd also like to say that this analysis helps me see the psalm in its true light, because it would be easy for me to see this psalm as a positive psalm. For example, I could take the text to mean what I wanted, and in verse 7 it says, "And now what do I wait for? My hope is in you." And also in verse 12, "Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear to my cry. Do not hold your peace at my tears." You know, if I read those in the light that I like to read things in, a good, gracious, loving God, I would seem to think this psalm is a positive psalm and has a happy ending. But in reality, it doesn't, and we have to read it in the context that it's given. It's not given in the happy and hopeful ending. But if you want it to, you can conjure it to make it seem like it is. But now, upon analysis, I know that really can't be done. I'd also like to touch on how this psalm is similar to Psalm 62, and that's one we often pray in the Liturgy of the Hours in the Christian tradition. And in verse 9 it says, those of low estate are but a breath, those of high estate are a delusion. In the balances they go up, they are together lighter than a breath." So both use that imagery of breath and illusion, and it's very interesting how they're connected, although Psalm 62 does end in a positive outcome, a sense of hope. Also, Psalm 62 and 39 both are according to Jeduthun, and Jeduthun was a temple singer, so they're both to the temple singer, and both employ a literary technique seen in the Psalms called the Selah, S-E-L-A-H, and that's to maybe give us insight for a place where there was interlude in the psalm, although we don't really know. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed my analysis of this psalm. Thank you very much.